Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into a story that sounds like something straight out of an action movie, but it is very real and happened right here in Nigeria. The Department of State Services, which most of us know as the DSS, has just made a massive breakthrough in Cross River State. They caught a very notorious gunrunner, and wait until you hear how many bullets he had. Operatives recovered exactly 832 rounds of live ammunition. Before we get into the juicy details of how they caught him, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us bring you more of these important updates, and you definitely don't want to miss the next part of this story. The man at the center of this big news is named Kelvin Ebikeniye Dugo. He was picked up at a place called Ivara Esu Estate in Odukpani. Now, here is where the story gets really interesting. Security sources say Kelvin didn't just have these bullets by accident. He was part of a major plan to move a large cache of ammunition. The DSS had been watching him based on very solid information. They knew he was planning to buy these 832 bullets from another man known as Jagaban. No, not that one. This Jagaban is actually Azenda Barnabas, who is said to be based in Benue State. Imagine the work the DSS had to do to track this. They waited for the perfect moment. Kelvin thought he was being clever because the ammunition was reportedly hidden inside food items to trick anyone who might search his bags, but the DSS was one step ahead. They moved in just as he received the package. Along with the 832 bullets, they also found 2 empty AK-47 magazines. This arrest is a huge win because it helps break the chain of people who supply weapons to criminals. When we take 832 bullets off the street, we are potentially saving hundreds of lives. It shows that our security teams are working hard behind the scenes to keep our communities safe. Of course, let's keep the energy going because the story gets even more intense. Now, you might be wondering, how did the DSS know exactly where to look? Well, this wasn't just luck. The DSS had been using high-level intelligence to track Kelvin Ebikeniye Dugo for a while. They knew he was heading to Ivara Esu Estate in Odukpani to pick up a special delivery. And here is the part that will shock you. The 832 rounds of live ammunition were not just thrown in a bag, they were carefully concealed inside food items. This is a common trick used by gunrunners to move illegal items through checkpoints, hoping that security agents will only see bags of rice, gari or yams and let them pass. But the DSS operatives were too sharp for that. They intercepted Kelvin the very moment he took delivery of the package. When they ripped open the food containers, they didn't find tinner, they found 832 rounds of ammunition and 2 empty AK-47 magazines. Just think about that for a second. An AK-47 magazine typically holds 30 rounds. Having 832 rounds means someone was preparing for a very long and very dangerous operation. Before I tell you about the man who supplied these bullets, the one they call Jagaban, please make sure you like this video and subscribe. Your support helps us stay on top of these stories and keeps our community informed. So who is this supplier? The DSS identified him as Azenda Barnabas, also known by the alias Jagaban. He's based in Aliade, Benue State. This shows that gun running isn't just a local problem. It's a network that stretches across different states. The DSS is currently on a nationwide mission to dismantle these syndicates. They aren't just looking for the small players. They are going after the wholesalers who supply the tools for crime. The arrest of Kelvin in Cross River is part of a much bigger picture. Recently, we've seen similar busts in places like Kano and Nasarawa. Our security agents are definitely stepping up their game to stop the flow of illegal weapons, which is great news for all of us who want a more peaceful Nigeria.
The investigation is getting even more interesting, so let's get right back into it. According to the latest details from this week, March 2026, the DSS didn't just stop at finding the bullets. They have been digging deep into how this operation was supposed to work. It turns out that Kelvin Ebikeniye Dugo wasn't just a random guy with a bag. He was a key link in a chain that moves dangerous weapons across state lines. The DSS confirmed that they intercepted him at the exact moment he received that special delivery at Ivara Esu Estate. Imagine the tension. The officers had to be incredibly patient, watching and waiting until the exchange happened so they could catch him red-handed. And here's the scary part. Those 832 rounds of live ammunition and the 2 empty AK-47 magazines were meant to be part of a much larger deal. By cutting off this supply, the DSS has essentially starved a criminal group of the tools they need to cause trouble. Now, before I tell you what happens to Kelvin next and why this is a warning to others, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps us keep these stories coming, and it shows the world that Nigerians care about safety and justice. The DSS has made it very clear that they aren't stopping with Kelvin. They are now going after the big fish like Azenda Barnabas, the Jagaban of Aliade. This shows a new strategy where security agencies are not just waiting for crimes to happen, they are attacking the logistics of crime. If there are no bullets to buy, it's much harder for criminals to carry out their plans. This arrest in Cross River is being hailed as a major victory for the South-South region. It's a reminder that even when things seem quiet, our security teams are working 24/7 to protect our people's paradise. It also serves as a massive warning.
If you are involved in illegal arms, the DSS is watching, and they are getting better at spotting those clever hiding spots, even if you hide things in food.